Hi, my name's Rick Earhart, and I'm the Utah wine pastor. And tonight I'm sipping kind of a special bottle of wine that was given to us by a good friend. It is a Rombauer Zinfandel from 2020, and it's a little more money than I would ever usually spend on a bottle of wine, but it is really excellent, really elegant. And I'll post some wine tasting notes on it, um, probably on Wednesday this week, but looking forward to that. So, again, Utah wine pastor, and I'm guessing you probably have never heard those three words, Utah wine and pastor, strung together before. Um, but for what it's worth, that description fits me to a T. As I've said before, I love Utah wine and Jesus, not in that order. Being in the state of Utah, as a traditional Christian pastor who just happens to love wine, has put me in some pretty interesting situations. And through the years, I've developed my own unique perspectives on every part of my self-description. But it seemed to me that a little blurb about the wine portion of Utah Wine Pastor was in order. So here goes. Right off the bat, I don't consider myself any kind of a wine expert. I'm certainly not a trained sommelier, but I do know what I like. And based on 40 years of experience and a lot of self-study, I would say that I probably know more than the average guy about the fruit of the vine. On average, I think the real wine experts that you read about in the magazines, I think they can be a little snooty. Their sophisticated palates and their flair for the dramatic come up with some pretty off the wall tasting notes. I mean, describing a California Cabernet as having flavors of mulberry and plum woven with dried oregano and chaparral, that just seems a little pretentious to me. But believe me, I've seen lots worse than that. But I'm not like that. I don't think wine's complicated, and I really don't believe that it should be intimidating. I think anyone with a little study and a little bit of knowledge should be able to sit down at a nice restaurant, open the wine list, and be able to order an appropriate bottle of wine without breaking into a cold sweat. And this is especially true in Utah, where most servers aren't knowledgeable at all about wine. So if you've ever opened a wine list and kind of gotten nervous, I think I can be of some help. And my plan is to introduce you to some really good wines that won't cost you a fortune. And I would tell you that I developed my love and appreciation for wine during the 13 years that I spent in the San Francisco Bay Area. My wife Bonnie and I lived in Marin County, just north of the Golden Gate Bridge, where, it put us really close to California's famous wine country. And it turned out that most of our out of town visitors wanted tours of the wine country, and we were very happy to oblige. And so I guess it's no surprise that we visited a lot of wineries in Napa, Sonoma, and especially the Russian River area. And over the years, we've developed several go to favorites from those areas. And along the way, I picked up some knowledge and a real fondness for imported wine, especially, sad to say it, French wine. But the truth is, the countries all over the world today make really nice wines that you don't have to be an expert to appreciate. So if you like wine or if you want to know more about it, I would say that the Utah Wine Pastor podcast might be worth looking into. In the weeks ahead, I'll be posting wine information as well as my weekly sermons. We're working on a UtahWinePastor.com website and expect to have that up and running in a few weeks. And in the meantime, my plan is to put up some podcasts on Amazon Music. If you touch the podcast tab and just search for Utah Wine Pastor, you'll see what we've already uploaded. And so I invite you to sip, savor, and spiritually connect. I'm looking forward to sharing my thoughts on Utah, wine, and Jesus with you in the weeks ahead. And I'm really looking forward to hearing back from you. And so until next time, cheers and amen.